Tech News Weekly is sponsored by Netflix. Watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on your PC, Mac, iPad, iPhone, or TV instantly. All streaming directly to you, saving you time, money, and hassle. For your free 30-day trial, go to netflix.com/GFQ.
Starting Tech News Weekly in 3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to Tech News Weekly. I'm Andrew Zarian. Of course, I'm joined by Suncast, as I am each and every week. How you doing, John?
Suncast.
I got it right.
Jun.
Nobody will understand that. Nobody will get it because none of this is ever going to air. It never happened. I'm having an awful day today. I sound awful in my headphones for whatever reason. I don't know what's going on. But we're here with Josh Coleman also. How you doing, Combs?
I'm doing excellent. It's wonderful to be here with you, even though I could be auto-gaining constantly.
I don't know. And you know what? Maybe it's my headphones. It could possibly be my headphones because everybody sounds really distorted except for Suncast in my headphones right now. So I'm just going in here blind with today's show, hoping for the best. I really need a drink. I really, really do.
Well,
I don't know what's going on.
One.
No, I don't know what's going on. Suncast, have you ever seen me this flustered on the air?
Yeah, I think so.
Really?
Oh, wow.
This bad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, at times I kind of fish for answers, and I was fishing for, I've never seen you like that. That's never happened before. So,
I know you all too well.
You do. Yeah, you do. But let's get into some tech news. Actually, before we do that, I want to give a little plug for Combs with J Maverick Designs. If you're looking to get a website done, if you're looking to have your digital presence created,
Yep.
go to jmaverickdesign.com and contact him. He does great work, and he'll give you a good deal if you tell him you heard it on TNW.
Yes, I will. Thank you very much, Ed.
You're welcome. So let's go into the Windows 8 Blue story. That was a big story this week. Microsoft has announced that the public preview will be released at Build this year. I mean, not surprised, but it's finally official. In June, so probably June 26th to the 28th, which is Build. We're going to get the public preview of Windows 8.1, codenamed Blue. I know John was not really happy with Windows 8. I am not really crazy about Windows 8. I had to use a Windows laptop to do something yesterday, and I had a lot of difficulty kind of adjusting to the way that Windows 8 is. Do you guys feel that adding a little start button on the bottom and doing these minor changes to the UI is going to make Windows a little bit more comfortable for the enthusiast and the average user? I mean, a lot of people, top to bottom, they're complaining about this. I'll go to you first, John.
This is interesting because Paul Thurrott has talked about this a little bit on What the Tech before, and it's interesting because he has an interesting take because he sees kind of both sides of this, and I kind of agree with him in the sense, and I know that I'm really down on Windows 8, but he says that in a way what they did with Windows 8, they went to the extreme in the sense that they went all touch and basically no desktop. So it's very difficult to use, in my opinion. And I know there's people out there that disagree with me, but in my setup and for what I do, Windows 8 just does not work. Even in the desktop mode or whatever that is, it's just simply not the same. And I have such a hard time controlling it because there is just such a lack of optimization in the desktop. It's all touch based, and it works great if you're on a touchscreen device, but if you're not, then it's so much more difficult to use.
How about you, Josh? You were very excited about Windows 8 when it first came out, and
Right.
you kind of changed your tone about it, which you get very excited about anything that when it comes out the first couple days.
Exactly. I love brand new things. They smell so good.
You are the worst person to kind of ask. Like the first 3 days of a product launch, you love anything and everything.
Love it. Brand new. No one's ever seen it. I'm the first person to touch it with human hands. It's the best. But yeah, that goes away. So, but working off of what Suncast is saying, He's 100% dead on. I agree. My biggest problem with Windows 8, and this is in a desktop form, is that when I open it, it's like they always talk about the live tiles, and I know how they work on a mobile device because you're looking down, you want everything quick. But when I'm sitting down, I'm not in a rush, and I'm looking at a desktop, I feel like it's like information overload, and I don't know where to look first. So I'm immediately just like go to the desktop because I can understand that the files are just apps that I have to click. With the whole live tiles thing, it's just too much going on. And my biggest problem is, and I thought this would never affect me when I first got it, is I didn't think that start bar was such a big deal. But to just restart your computer, I have to think, okay, what do I do? Oh yeah, I hover the mouse down the bottom right.
I mean, there's way too much thinking to kind of just simply start, just to, I mean, for the simplest of tasks, it's way too much.
Right. So that's like my biggest problem.
It's not only that, it's just very difficult to control using a mouse because, in my opinion, it's just not set up for a mouse environment. It's just not. It's fine if you're touching.
But how about with gestures?
Or any other usage.
And this has been my argument about this entire thing. I don't necessarily agree with people that say this is only for touch-centric devices. I think if you have a phenomenal trackpad on this thing, your experience will be as good as somebody that is using a touchscreen device.
It's interesting you say that.
But the problem is, and I've said this since day one, and I've been saying this for a good year now, these trackpads on these devices do not meet the standard that is required with Windows 8. A top-notch trackpad is the MacBook Pro's trackpad. That is probably the main reason why I use a Mac. I have not found a Windows laptop that has the touch sensitivity and the gesturing at the level of the MacBook Pro. Now, there might be something out there, but they're not doing a good job in selling it as listen, we have the best trackpad. Your experience is going to vary depending on what kind of device you're using. It's a major problem for me.
Andrew, it's interesting you say that. I just got out of a meeting hours ago from one of my clients. I'll give him a shout out, Lori Graham Design. We get down, we sit down, I pull up my iPad, I've got my MacBook Pro. She comes in and pulls out, you're not going to believe this, a Surface Pro.
Oh, wow.
And I said to her, I had to stop before we even got into the meeting. I said to her, do you know this is the first time I'm ever seeing one of those used in a work environment? And then I asked her what made her not have an iPad. She told me the simple fact is that she's a interior designer and she works with architects. All those programs like CAD and all that, they're not on an iPad. So they're only on PC. So she needs to be able to have those. So it made sense. And then I said, okay, what do you like and don't like? So she put it and set it up and she goes, it's great that it's like my full like PC laptop, but I can also have a touch device, which made sense. And then I said, so how's the keyboard? She goes, she loves the keyboard, but she says the one thing wrong is the trackpad, that she needs to get a physical mouse because the trackpad just does not work with the type of detail she needs to do with her hands.
See, I will be... I'm more inclined and more excited by Windows 8.1 knowing that the start menu's there and there might be the possibility that I could load into desktop automatically and it's going to kind of meet my needs as far as enterprise needs as they further develop this. Suncast, are you excited to try this out?
No, not really, because I still feel like this is very much Windows Vista all over again. And you remember, they kind of came out with like a service pack and some updates to kind of make Windows Vista perform a lot more better.
Yeah, within first year.
And it helped to a degree, but there's still this huge perception problem that they have, and that's just that Windows 8 is not doing very good, and a lot of hardcore users like myself just don't necessarily care for it just because of those reasons. Like, I do think it's great for a touch device. I think it's very immersive in a touch screen device, but for actual productive work like what I do that needs a desktop, a mouse, etc., it just doesn't work for me. And I hate saying that because I really do want to move over to Windows 8, but there's just it is one of those first generation things where it's just so new that it's going to take so long for all the bugs and little things to be worked out. It is very much, in my opinion, a beta device. It is still not ready for prime time yet.
Very well put. Why don't you go into the next story, John?
The next story?
Yeah, you pick whatever you want.
Thank you, Robot Andrew, for that announcement.
Pick whatever you want.
What's going on with you?
I kind of want to talk about this.
I don't know.
What's that?
I'm losing
No,
it.
not you.
Go ahead,
You're
John.
great, son, guys. You're great.
I want to talk about this Indian government monitoring system that they're launching
Mhm.
because I think this is kind of interesting. The Indian government is launching a central monitoring system to watch its citizens' calls, emails, and internet activity. We've seen this before in the past with BlackBerry and Nokia, where the Indian government has said, "All right, well, you guys can run your enterprise servers and everything that you want here in India to do your stuff, but we want the ability to access your systems and view activity on your systems."
Oh,
And
sure.
now they've kind of taken it a step further where they've got this now central monitoring system where they can monitor all of everybody's emails, internet activity, calls, all that stuff. And it's for tax collectors, law enforcement, and other agencies. And so this is kind of interesting that they're doing this, and it reminds me a lot of a TV show called Person of Interest. Now, I'm sure both of you have seen this show before, where they have this computer, this artificial intelligence, if you will.
It's the same
has
computer like
access to
Batman
everything.
has. It's the
Yeah.
same one from like Batman Begins that he had at the end
Yeah,
of the
so
movie.
in a way, this reminds me a lot of Big Brother and Person of Interest.
Very true.
But they've been doing
I-
this for a while. I mean, there was a whole thing with RIM, right? That they were giving away personal information.
Yep.
They were letting,
Well,
wiretapping
that's
and
the
everything.
cost of doing business in India
Yeah.
is that they're very much inclined into being able to access that sort of data for their citizens, and so you kind of have to. If BlackBerry didn't do that, they would not be in India.
And I believe there
That's
was
just the
another
cost of
story
doing
that
business there.
it was in Saudi Arabia also, in the United Arab Emirates, that they were. Same thing was happening with BlackBerry, where they would
They
want
were
to.
banned for a period of time until they complied.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is the thing about doing business in developing countries and developing regions of the world, where in order to do business, you're gonna have to kind of play by their rules because they approach things in a different way than we do here in the West. How would
I
you
agree
like
with
that?
you.
How would you like that, Josh? Someone
What, them
tapping
monitoring
in?
everything I'm doing every day.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
Text
going to know about
messages, even
cheering for Friday. They're going to know a lot.
they're gonna know about your Cheer for Fridays, and you'll be sad if that happens.
Yeah.
T-Mobile is reporting that they have sold 500,000 iPhones in less than 1 month. Now, I don't know if that's an impressive number. When I read the story, it was kind of presented that it's a very impressive number, but I don't know how impressive that is. T-Mobile got financial reports that were released of the first quarter in 2013, and on Tuesday, T-Mobile said that they have sold 500,000 iPhones since it started selling them in, I believe, April 12th. They started selling the iPhone.
It's pretty good.
Is that good, John? I mean, when we talk about launch sales of phones, how does that compare to Sprint getting the iPhone?
I don't know Sprint's numbers, but I believe for T-Mobile, this is pretty good, and I think this is probably their best-selling iPhone device ever.
Well, probably the best-selling device ever for T-Mobile, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I mean, it's pretty good. The nation's fourth.
500,000 is nothing to balk at. I mean, that's a huge number, and you're acting like it's just absolutely nothing. But to me, in my opinion, this is a huge, huge thing for them.
Well,
Especially
I'm
for
comparing it.
T-Mobile that's kind of struggled in the past with some of this stuff.
Oh, I'm comparing it to Verizon and AT&T sales, but I guess it's not a fair comparison. But I'm curious on how that.
But because a lot of times you'll also see everything all lumped in. Apple will say, "Oh, we sold such and such amount for the launch of the iPhone 5." But we're just looking at one single carrier. So I think 500,000 for one single carrier, especially a carrier that's T-Mobile, that isn't a big player like AT&T or Verizon. I think that's pretty dang good.
I think this is great for them. I think this gives them a total lifeline because now they pretty much they have every phone that all the other ones have, and you could bring your own phone if you really want. But in the long scheme of things, where does this put T-Mobile? They're the fourth largest carrier in the U.S. They saw a 7% year-over-year decline in revenue in the last quarter. So it hasn't been a great year for them. But if they're competing and they're getting the iPhone at the same rate as Verizon and AT&T at the same time, how many new people are going to say, you know what, forget about the big guys, I'm going to go to T-Mobile because they have more of a aggressive pricing structure?
I think that works, Andrew, in a urban environment where T-Mobile has great service, but I think in the majority of the country where T-Mobile lacks in coverage, I think that's where they're going to have a problem coming into that market share.
Yeah, because over here, surprisingly, there's no service. But John, you had T-Mobile for years and you were fine.
Yeah, I mean, I had service. It wasn't always necessarily the best service or the greatest service in terms of coverage, but it was there. I was able to make phone calls. Then again, the only problem I had was, mostly with the data network. And I think that is something that they are working on. And especially with this whole merger now with Metro PCS, I think they're going to be able to really do something with their LTE spectrum.
How are they going to do that? Because Metro PCS is CDMA, and it works off of Sprint's service. So are they switching to T-Mobile?
Yes.
Everything is going GSM. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's good for them.
It's a big undertaking that'll take them probably 2 years to fully complete.
If that longer, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it grows their network, and that's great for them. But I like seeing the competition amongst all the platforms. When you talk about an iPhone coming out, it's either Verizon or people that I know.
AT&T.
It's Verizon or AT&T, and that's because they've been locked in there from the beginning because they had an iPhone. But now you could go to Sprint if you want. You could go to T-Mobile if you want, and you're gonna get the same.
I said this on T4 the other week. One of the reasons why I did end up, it is. Yeah. One of the reasons why I ended up going with the iPhone 5 on Verizon is because of their coverage, and I knew that they had. I wanted a good data network, and I know Verizon has a great LTE network, and so for me, that was one of the big reasons that I decided to switch from T-Mobile to Verizon for the iPhone. It wasn't necessarily because T-Mobile didn't necessarily have the iPhone.
Okay, so if they had the iPhone,
I wanted a better network.
If they had the iPhone, would you have jumped over?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, this is in a way. No. I would like to see the numbers of new subscribers, and I'd like to see, how many of them were existing customers, because I think the existing customers that bought the iPhone, they saved them from leaving. Because most people would have left and gotten an iPhone, if that was the case.
I think that was probably, and I thought the number. I mean, Andrew, you didn't seem that excited about it. But when I heard 500,000 for them, I was like, wow, a phone that's pretty much going to be obsolete in a couple of months.
They sold about 500,000. Yeah, I guess you're right.
That's pretty impressive, I think.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm wrong there.
Fine.
Talking about, since we're on the topic of phones, I want to talk about Nokia has announced the Lumia 928. It's going to have a 4.5 display, OLED display. Can you please
explain to me why I should care about this?
Yes. First of all, it's $100, which is dirt cheap for this phone. Really cheap. It's a slight upgrade over the 920. Now, some of the updates is that
920's been out for like 2 years, though, hasn't it?
No, the 920.
No, it came out in January.
The 900 came out.
February?
The 900 came out a while ago. The 920 just came out in I believe January, around then.
Yeah, January, February.
Let's compare the two. So the biggest difference is it's an OLED display over a IPS display. The OLED display is supposedly better. It has a different sensor on the camera, so the camera is supposed to perform phenomenally in low light. It's low blur, so you're gonna get really crisp photos. But other than that, majority of the stuff it's pretty much the same. I'm curious to get my hands on it and play around with it. But May 16th, $100 on Verizon. That is a very, very aggressive price point to be at.
True, but like the story we just did, I would rather get the iPhone 5 with that camera for $100.
You want the iPhone 5?
Enough? I'm sorry. I mean, we don't agree on this. I know, but Windows 8 Mobile, I think, is not at the level of a pro
Windows
user
8
right
Mobile.
now.
Not Windows 8 Mobile.
Whatever it's called.
Windows Phone 8.
Windows Phone 8. Sorry, sir. I don't think it's at the level for a pro user who uses their mobile device a lot.
I don't agree with you on that.
Okay.
Can I tell you, I'm very skeptical of this phone because of the $100 price point. And I know this is a very bizarre thing to say, but the way I think of it is, it's $100. That is a budget price for a smartphone. So to me, that tells me it's probably not very good. It probably just has lower end specs. I mean, I'm expecting, a decent phone is going to cost you $199 at the very least.
That's the condition.
So do you have that same feeling about the iPhone 5 hearing when it's $99? No.
No, because I know how much it initially cost at launch.
See,
So
here's the
Oh,
thing.
I see.
And we've
You're
had this
basically-
discussion before. We've had this discussion about how the perception of the phone is kind of reflects on the pricing. So when they announced a $100 price, I was like, you know what? It could have been, if it was $199, I think a lot of people would look at it as a premium device. But with that said, they are trying to grab as many people as possible to jump to their platform. They have the Windows name, they have the Microsoft name, so people know it and they kind of relate to it because 90% of the world is running on Windows. And it's a beautiful phone. It's a beautiful design.
True.
I think they'll do very well in that $100 price point. Now, it all depends on how they're selling it in the stores. Verizon does an awful job in marketing this thing. When you go into a Verizon store, the first thing you see is Samsung, and then there's a little area in the back for Windows Phone. They're
Well,
not
that's because they
pushing
pay
it.
for that, don't they?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's just how it works. But when I use Windows Phone, it was great. It was really good. I was really happy with it. Yeah, lack of apps, of course. It's a new platform. Same thing with the BlackBerry. But as far as a unique UI that works, I think they're doing a great job with it. And the phone is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful phone. I can't say one bad thing about it.
I'm very cautious when it comes to devices that cost that much. I'm thinking, all right, well, how are they able to sell it for that little money? Are they taking a hit on this, or is it just because they're using cheaper parts and so it's not as good of a build quality as you could get with a more expensive phone?
I don't think so. I think
No, I
they're
don't think so, because,
subsidizing
John,
it.
look, my phone right here, the Note 2, which I praise constantly to everyone, the build quality of this is crap. This is like the worst build quality of a phone, but it works.
And how much was it?
And I believe at launch it was $300.
$300 out, $299. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it
look,
was like
I
a
paid $299 for this, for the Galaxy and the Nexus Galaxy. I paid $200
Yeah,
for this
right.
phone when it
Yeah.
came out. And would I say that the build quality is better than the Lumia? Absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it better than the iPhone? Absolutely not. But
Right.
it's just a $300 phone because it's the flagship Google phone at the time.
Do you think the HTC, that new one you got, I forget, first one, whatever.
The one,
is,
yeah.
Is that the best build quality out today?
As far as an Android phone goes, yes, it is.
Why
it is the
did you
best
say
build.
it like that?
Because I don't think, it's kind of hard to say when I don't have them all lined up in front of me. It's up there. I mean, it's
Hey.
if not the best, it's probably the second or third best. And let's say the first best would be the Lumia. The Lumia probably is the best build phone on the market right now. Josh just left.
He left?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
He ran out. Something
Now
happened.
you don't have to worry about his auto gain.
Yeah, now I don't have to worry about it. But it's the best. With that said, why don't we take a little break and talk about our sponsor, Netflix. I am a big fan of Netflix. I know Josh is a huge fan of Netflix. And if you don't have Netflix, I know everybody has Netflix, but if you don't have Netflix, they have a great deal for you. If you go to netflix.com/GFQ, you get 30 days for free to try it out. No obligation. You try it out. If you don't like it, you cancel the service. No problem. But I guarantee you're not going to cancel it because everything you want is on Netflix. A ton of original series is on Netflix. House of Cards is on there. Arrested Development is coming on there in about 10 days, right?
Do you realize that it's going to set records? I'm already going on record saying that's going to be the most successful thing Netflix has ever done. I think if you don't use this code right now, netflix.com/GFQ, you're basically just throwing an amazing experience in the trash.
Thank you for that. No, I think that's going to be a huge thing for Netflix, and I'm a huge Arrested Development fan.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've never watched it, that show was so before its time. I can't even tell you. I never watched it when it was on television. Actually, the way I got into it was it was on Netflix
DVD. For me.
Yeah, a lot of people did, but I just saw it on Netflix. I was looking for a new show because there was nothing on TV, and I turned it on. I watched the first one. I was like, oh, okay, it's good. Watch the second one. Watch the third one. I'm like, oh my god, this is brilliantly funny.
Genius.
It's so well written. I sat there and I watched all of them, every single one. And the following day, they made the announcement that Netflix is getting Arrested Development as an original series exclusive on Netflix. And listen, you get it now, you're going to get Arrested Development. And the cool thing about what they do is they release all the shows at the same time. So
Day one.
all 14 episodes or all 12 episodes, bam, day one, it's all there. You don't have to say, oh my God, I got to wait another week. It was so good.
Right.
I kind of have argued that sometimes the wait is good, but the last couple of weeks I've been watching everything that's been on Netflix and everything that's DVR'd, and I watched like 3-4 of them. And man, the experience of watching a television show is so much better. No commercials, no breaks, no.
We've gotten to a
none
point
of it.
too. It's like we have so much going on right now. It's like we don't need to have that wait anymore. It's like I need to watch it when I have the time set aside to just blow a Sunday on Arrested Development.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So you guys should sign up to check out Arrested Development. I'm a big fan of it. And you get a 30-day free trial if you go to netflix.com/GFQ. I want to thank Netflix for supporting Tech News Weekly and the entire network because they're really good to us. So back to you, Suncast.
Back to me.
Yeah.
Boy, that was great.
Hey, let's talk about this YouTube paid subscriptions thing that's going on.
Yeah.
We saw earlier this week that there was this possibility of YouTube or Google launching paid subscriptions on YouTube for possibly $1.99 for whatever it was. And now we actually have confirmation and actually more details about this.
Well, it's out.
What it is go ahead.
They've released them. Already some channels have a paid
that's
model.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that it's what they're saying is that it's initially consisting of a small group of partners offering channels that start at 99 cents per month, which is not bad in my opinion.
Oh,
and some of those include Sesame Street and UFC, which absolutely makes sense to me that those types of networks and programming would opt for something like this, where it would be, a paid subscription, because they do pay-per-view for UFC fights all the time. So to me, that makes absolute sense to get UFC on YouTube. And 99 cents is not that big of a deal, in my opinion, per month. I mean, if it was like per episode or per show, I might look at it a little bit more closer, but 99 cents per month, that's nothing.
Well, here's the catch there, okay? I saw the list. I'm trying to open it up again. I had it open for the notes.
Where it is. I can't remember where it was.
But not all of them are 99 cents.
No.
Now, when I searched through them, there are a bunch of things that I don't want to watch at all. Actually, here it is. Let me see here.
I know you want to watch Sesame Street.
So Sesame Street.
I watch that a lot. I enjoy it.
I can't find it now. They had a list of of all the channels, but
I think they
I clicked on one. I clicked on one of them, and it was TNA Impact Wrestling. It was $14.99 a month.
Right.
It wasn't 99 cents a month. So
it was 99 cents an episode.
No, I don't know what it was, but it was literally. Oh, here it is. I found it. Okay, so you have Acorn TV, Babies First Plus. So I want to see what the pricing is on this.
I think what you're going to end up seeing too is a lot of crap that just nobody really cares about, and the only way that they can afford to do it is by charging.
$4.99 a month for Acorn TV. Babies First is $1.99 a month. Big Star Movies is $4.99 a month, or $34.99 for the year. So far, Guys Night In is $1.99 a month. So a lot of these things are going to cost you money. They're not necessarily 99 cents. They're going to be, whatever they decide that they're going to do. But I think this is not a bad idea, and I'll tell you why it's not a bad idea. Companies like the UFC want to give out their content. They want to make money on it. Like the UFC right now is $5.99. Right. So they're going to be doing Ultimate Fighter's going to be on there. The best of Pride, which was a MMA company in Japan that got bought by them. So they're going to be, you're going to have access to all these matches and all these fights archived on YouTube.
Ask you.
Yeah.
Would you pay $14.99 to watch a UFC fight on your computer?
One fight, or what are you talking?
The whole pay-per-view?
Like a pay-per-view?
Yeah, a pay-per-view type.
I would. Yeah, I would.
That's a great price. You know how much they really are, John?
$70.
I know. That's what I'm saying, is that if it could just be delivered to your computer for $14.99, I think that's a pretty good deal.
Well, they have the thing now where you can go buy it on their site, get a code, then go to your Xbox.
Yeah, but that's just, you have to have an Xbox then, and you have to go through all the crap to do it.
True.
So
but
now,
WWE, I believe, just released a pay-per-view app for iOS.
Yeah. So here's the question, and a lot of the big names are missing from the subscription model. If you notice that, a lot of these big YouTube channels and names are not here. So will we see them there? And if we do, how are they going to start doing their content? Are they going to have a subscription channel? So if you want to watch iJustine, for special videos of iJustine, you're going to pay 99 cents.
That crap. I can tell you that right now.
I mean, how are they
Why
going
would
to do
anybody
this?
pay for that?
The hardest problem here is how do you start charging for something that's been free for so long?
Yeah.
And that's going to be the hardest part. I mean, that's why I think you're seeing these channels that from what they had, because I don't know, it's like a safe list, if that makes sense. Like these are safe ones that they could do it with. But I don't know. I want this to happen because ultimately I'd love to have an account, like my Google account, that's linked to all, like CBS, ABC, all the different channels a la carte that I want.
A la carte,
and I can
okay.
watch it anywhere.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, what is Guys Night In? I've never heard of this.
Isn't that a TV show or something?
It might be. It might be Vegas Confessions, Guys Night In. Yeah, you know what this is? It's on HDNet. No, I know what this is. It's on HDNet, and it's silly. Why would you?
Here's my whole thing with all this, though, is that, in my opinion, this stuff just has to be reasonably priced. And by reasonably priced, I mean if
affordable.
See, the way I see it is the fact that a lot of the stuff that you're seeing right now that is for sale digitally costs, $1.99, $2.99, $3.99, etc. per episode, or they want $25 or more per season. Well, what if there's multiple seasons, multiple episodes, multiple shows that you want to keep track of digitally? That all adds up eventually, and you could be paying upwards of, $200 or more a year, where if you just had a cable subscription or satellite subscription, you could actually get all that stuff on your TV for, $80.
So let me ask you guys, what kind of content needs to be on this subscription model for it to be successful? Who needs to be there? Are we talking about YouTube celebrities, or are we talking about big networks that say, okay, you know what, $4.99 a month, you get all our CBS shows now on YouTube?
Networks.
That's gonna be the driving force behind this.
Yeah, they have to be the first to do it, and then you can go and get into your niche-y type shows.
I mean,
that still goes back to just the fact that all this digital content that you're paying for adds up over the course of months and years.
Sure. I mean, but look at I'll give you an example. Okay, I pay about $300 a month for cable in my house. Now I have every channel. I have all the premium channels. I have a TV in every room in high def. I have 4 DVRs. So yeah, I'm not the typical person. But if I was able to pick a la carte the networks that I want, it would probably be far less than I'm paying right now.
I would love to see somebody actually add all this up and do an analysis of the cost of watching everything digitally, legally, paying for it versus having a cable subscription.
I'm sure they would make more money.
So let's do some math. Let's do some math right now, okay? Right. Hulu is what, $10 a month? Yes. Netflix is $10 a month. So we're at $20 a month right now for those two. What else can I add up?
Amazon
Anything
Prime
you
is
buy in
$80
iTunes or Amazon.
Amazon Prime,
like
$80
there's
a year.
a lot of TV shows that are released on iTunes and Amazon. So if you're buying an episode, an HD episode is $2.99 per episode, or a season is probably between $25 and $35 per season.
Okay.
Well,
so
you have to
let's
buy
say
your
you have
streaming
2
device.
seasons. That's $70.
Okay, so let's say now I get.
You have to buy your streaming
just
device.
for 2 seasons, for 2 TV shows, for 2 seasons. That doesn't count for anything else.
Okay, so now let's add a service like what is that one in New York? Avio? I forgot the name. Aereo. Yeah. Okay, so let's add that. That's another $10 a month. So now I'm at $30 a month.
Okay, you had to buy an Apple TV, so that's $100.
let's get an Apple TV or a Roku. So that's $100 times 5. So that's $500 right there.
Yep.
So let's add the cost of $5 a month extra for that a month. 5 times 10 is okay. So you're looking at about, let's say, $80 a month for everything.
Right.
I mean, for some people, that's expensive, but for others, it's quite affordable.
I don't think it's going to end up working out that way, though.
You think it's going to end up costing a lot more?
I think it's going to be the same as what we see on iTunes and Amazon, where it's $2.99 per episode or $35 per season.
I don't think it can though, John, because with the way the economy is going and the way that people,
But that's what they do
prices are going
now.
up, but people's jobs,
That's what they do
salaries are
now.
not.
Yeah,
Oh, you're saying
That's what
now.
they're charging now. That's
No,
what
they are doing
that's
now.
what the cost is on Amazon and iTunes. And there's
don't-
no way that I can afford to buy seasons of TV shows on
No
iTunes or
way.
Amazon.
Well, I'll tell you,
at
Amazon-
$35 per season.
Amazon has it totally backwards on Amazon. So if you're a Prime member, you have access to, it's like Netflix. They have their Prime shows, but not every show is a Prime show. So you'll go down the list, and let's say you're watching
Right.
The Office. Seasons 1 through 5 will be available, and then 6, 7, and 8 you got to pay $1.99 or $2.99 per episode. Past that, I think that's totally wrong. I think if Amazon really wants to get the advantage, they would put it in their package and charge for Prime, and you would have Prime Plus, which is an extra $5 a month.
Well, I think the rumor of this like supposed set-top box is probably going to change their whole model. I think.
Yeah, probably. I mean, there's flaws in all of them, but you're right, John. I would love to know the real cost of cutting the cord and getting all these services and doing it the legal way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really interesting. Did you hear John McCain wants to release a bill that forces cable companies to allow you to pick the channels you want to pay for one by one. And
That would be ridiculous. I would love it.
But you know what they're going to do, and this is what'll happen. They'll say, okay, yeah, you could pick a la carte, but they're gonna jack up the price on each channel. So at the end, you're gonna be like, you know what? It's not really worth it for me.
Oh.
And that's what they do right now with the premium channels. If I want to cut HBO, it's still going to cost me the same as it would for having HBO because they're not bundling all these packages.
Yeah, the bundling is so weird. It's like if you have HBO outright, it's like $20 a month, but if you get in the bundle, it's like $7. I'm like, how does that work?
Josh, I want to talk to you about this one right here, the next story. Adobe is killing Creative Suite, and it's going subscription only instead. Now, you use Photoshop, you use a lot of these Adobe things. You bought CS6. I want to know your opinion on this.
This is a huge story, I guess, in my field of like graphics and web and all that. I mean, I've used the Adobe stuff since CS1 all the way to the top now, the 6. I own 6. And then I read this that there's going to be no more. There's no CS7. There's not going to be the yearly or bi-yearly of the new releases. Now I have to pay a subscription, so I don't even own the software. If I stop my subscription, that's it. They're giving me, because I have CS6, a $20 a month fee, as opposed to everyone else, I believe, is $50 a month. And I think, okay, there's two sides to this, obviously. There's one side that, it's going to be definitely cheaper, and more people are going to have to buy this now because the $1,600 price tag I did have to pay for everything is a lot easier when it's only like $50 a month. So I see that. On the other hand, you don't own any of your software, and as soon as you stop paying, that's it. So in a way, it's making me, and I'll give some tips to everyone out there, is look at the alternative type of apps out there that are in the Mac App Store. And there's two I really want to suggest that I really like, and that's Pixelmator, which is almost like a really basic Photoshop, but it does have some advanced features, and that's $14.99. And then the other one is Acorn, which I think is $30 right now. Both will get the job done because majority of most people who use Photoshop only use like a few features. But yeah, I mean, I'll have to see how it goes once it's like into effect. I mean, supposedly there's going to be lots of updates when in this summer when it starts, but
so let
I'm
me
curious
ask
to
you
hear
this.
what you guys
So
think.
you're not into this at all?
No, not really, not at all.
So let me ask you this. How is the Creative Cloud Suite going to work? I've never used the Creative Cloud Suite. How does it work? For example, if I want to use Photoshop.
So basically, it's going to allow you any computer you would log on and access. You'll be able to like get your file, and if that computer doesn't have it, you in theory can download and work on it.
But you still need Photoshop installed locally.
Well, yeah, you would have to then install it.
So what happens is that
you get like
it
20
checks
gigs
back
of
in.
storage.
It phones home every 30 days or every 31 days. Every month it phones in to check to see if your license is valid is basically what it does. You can still install it. You can still use it without an internet connection, but you'll still have to have that internet connection at least once a month for it to phone home and check that your license is valid.
But don't you think this makes it far more affordable for normal people to go and buy Photoshop and use Photoshop? Like, they have the student and teacher discount. You're saving 60%. It's $20 a month.
But they had that before. They had those same discounts before.
Yeah. They had great.
What it ends up
student
being
deals.
is that if you need access to multiple programs over the course of a number of years, it'll end up actually costing you more than it normally would. You can if you only need one or two programs, you can actually get by. Like if you just need Photoshop, you can have a subscription to Photoshop for just $10 a month, I believe.
So to complete
In that regard, I think that's not a bad deal. $10 or $20 a month for access just to Photoshop, that is not a bad deal at all.
I think that they could have gone one of two ways. The one way is where you're going to be paying them monthly, and the other way was, why not make all your software a little bit more affordable for regular people instead of charging those ridiculous prices they had in the first place?
What do you think about the fact that the benefit of that when they have new features released, it's not going to be bi-yearly anymore. It'll be whenever they have these upgrades, it'll just upgrade automatically, and you'll automatically have it.
Well, that scares me to death because, I mean, I played enough PC games to know that they roll out all updates all the time, and there's something that goes wrong in your computer, and then they'll have to release a patch. But if you were one of the people that downloaded it too early, so I don't like that at all. I don't understand.
But how does this fight against piracy? I think this makes it a lot easier for people
I mean, obviously they're going to have a version where you can put in some code and disable it.
Sure, but let's give the example. Okay, right now, if I wanted Photoshop,
you could get it in a million places.
No. I want to go buy it. How much is it going to cost me?
Just Photoshop?
Just Photoshop.
$700. Or no, that one's the cheaper of all of them. That one might be $5.
Okay, so let's say $500. Let's say $500 to $700.
6. Right. I'll throw just 6 out there.
6. Okay, let's throw number 6 out there. I don't have $600. I'm a college student that wants to get into this.
They had the college price, you didn't ask me that, is I think it's $300.
Okay, so I don't have $300. I mean, I could potentially give you $20 a month.
Class, then.
I have $20 a month to give you, but I don't have $300 up front, nor do I want to spend the $300 up front.
Let me send you a link. When the Critic Cloud came out, Lifehacker actually did a pretty good comparison. This is from April of last year. I'm going to send this to you so that you can actually look at it. Photoshop CS6 retail is $700 or $585 on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Right. CS6 extended with a student discount was only $250.
Yeah, amazing.
Upgrades are $200 and a subscription is $20 a month. Over the course of 2 years, that would be $480 versus $585 on Amazon.
Yeah, see? So over time...
yes. But the whole point is, well, it's a subscription model. It's more affordable for people who don't have the $200 to $500 or the $700. And you're getting the upgrade all the time.
To a lot of new developers now who could come out
Absolutely.
with...
And here's the other part, though.
That's the one thing I think Adobe better be afraid of is that, like I just mentioned, like Pixelmator, the day after Adobe had that announcement, they had a new update up with that. But I was just like, good for them.
But here's the other part. You're also getting updates all the time, so you don't have to go spend another $700 in a couple of years to get the latest and the greatest. It's all rolled in, so you're paying for one service. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I'm for these subscription models. I know at the end you're gonna end up spending more, but you always have the latest and the greatest. It's like a lease.
It is. It's like Ron Knight says in the chat room. It's like Rent-A-Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you, Combe, though, that the fact is that this will push some people to look at other options like Pixelmator out there. And that was one of my first thoughts was, all right, well, I know there's other programs out there that have features very much similar to Photoshop. I mean, you could even go with GIMP on Windows if you really wanted to.
The problem right now is that Adobe had used their own file extensions. So it's like .psd or .indd for InDesign.
.ai.
Yeah, exactly. So then when you have a program like Pixelmator, it looks at that .psd and can't understand it. I believe they've made it a better transition than it was before. It couldn't do text. It could just do images. So I don't know. I haven't tested that yet, but that's the problem is that they pretty much have just locked down this whole like industry for so long that it makes it so hard for others to get in. But this is really going to be really huge for other people because I'm turned off by it, and I own the programs.
Oh, see, now like I'm more for like buying Suncast the latest version of Photoshop. because I know it's not going to cost me $700 out of my pocket. I'm going to spend, $20 a month, and here you go. It's not a thing to even think about. Like, I've thought about like applications.
This is a lot like is cell phones and having to pay. Yeah.
But no, you know what it's exactly like? It's like what Microsoft is doing with Office. I'm paying $9.99 a month for Office. Now,
right.
Because I'm a business, I'm one of these people that used to go out and spend $300-$400, buy the full version of Office because I wanted Outlook, I wanted all of that. Now, I'm not even thinking about purchasing Office. I'm just paying them $9 a month. It doesn't matter to me. Ugh. The same applies.
Use Google Docs.
And I use Google Docs. I know. Don't get me started.
Which is a much better service.
No, my wife uses Office. She uses Outlook. I have it on her computer. I have it because I could install it on 5 computers. So it works for me in that sense that I'm not dishing out $500. The same thing applies for Photoshop. If Suncast comes to me, John is like, hey, listen, the latest version of Photoshop does this. I think we should buy it. If it's a $700 or $1,000 investment, I'm gonna be like, you know what? Do we want to spend that money right now? I'm not even gonna blink an eye at $20 a month, even though I know in the long term it's gonna end up costing me a little more. But I'm not even gonna consider it. It's $20 out of my pocket every month rather than $1,000 right now.
That's so different thinking than me.
That's the whole app mentality. Why do you think we've become appified? Nobody thinks about buying apps. We were talking about Candy Crush, okay?
Right. Oh,
Candy Crush.
Let's talk about it, Andrew.
Candy Crush is
game of the year.
Game of the year. It's a stupid puzzle game. It's like Bejeweled, but these guys have created
genius.
It's genius. So pretty much you end up having to buy credits to continue playing because you run out of credits if you keep losing, and there are boards that stump you, and it is made for you to lose, and it is made for you to spend money. God knows how much money they're generating right now, but you don't think about it. Do you know why? Because it's 99 cents.
Yeah, exactly.
99 cents here, 99 cents there, 99 cents there. At the end of the week, you've spent $30, $40.
Yep.
But guess
then
what?
Are you thinking that Photoshop is going to end up having all these features that you have to unlock for a certain amount of money, where you can get a subscription, but for these extra features, you're going to have to pay another monthly fee?
That's actually interesting.
So wait,
yeah,
Andrew,
I think they might do that.
You're saying two different things now. Now you're saying you'd rather go with the whole microtransaction model instead of a subscription.
No. But my point is because it's a much lower cost, you don't think about the purchase. Okay. It's an impulse buy. That's why we go and we download 99-cent apps or $1.99, $2.99 apps, because it's an easy one-click thing. You're not spending $50 on a video game. I think the same thing applies for subscription-based services.
Oh, so you're saying instead of you've always thought Photoshop is $700, but now you're able to get it for $20.
Now most people, and I'm not talking about me because I'll go and I'll buy the $700 one, but let's say I know tons of people that pirate this thing.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know more people that pirate it than actually have bought Photoshop.
Right.
I think these people now, and these are people that make money, have a business. They have a business based on Photoshop, and they're running a pirated version of Photoshop that's 2 years old because they were able to crack it. I think these people now are going to say, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing? I'm using something that's old. I'm going and I'm pirating it. I'm risking getting whatever infection. I'm just going to spend the $20 and download this thing. I don't know, John. I mean, to me, I think it's a smart move. I think it's going to eliminate piracy significantly. I actually see it as a positive rather than a negative. But you did bring up something interesting, John. You brought up this micro purchasing in Photoshop itself. So let's say you want to unlock a type of
content aware.
Yeah.
Right.
It says like, hey, listen, we added this new feature. It's 99 cents to unlock it. Or you could
let's
pay
say
us.
in Illustrator you want to do some tracing a path.
Yeah. So you know what? Or they say, okay, you can unlock it for $1 or $2, or you could purchase the entire pack for $50.
Right. No, that would be
interesting
awesome.
model.
You can basically customize each of the apps the way with the tools that you use.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting model. Very interesting model.
Huh.
I'm very excited.
I'm still mixed on this, and I think it's kind of a mixed bag. I think,
John,
there's going to be people out there that hate this, and people out there like you that love this.
Okay, so without getting into too much detail, what version of Photoshop do you use?
CS6.
Oh,
I have CS5 and CS6.
Okay, so if you were on CS3, would you have wanted me to purchase you the latest version?
I think from CS3 to what we have out there now, even CS5 is a big upgrade.
Okay. So you would pretty much be like, if I came to, I'm like, listen, John, I'm gonna pay $20 a month. Here he goes for you.
It's like anything. After a couple of years, there's so much more improvement that what you had 2 years ago is now irrelevant because it's old, and the improvements are just so much better.
Do you know the last time I used Photoshop? It was before the whole CS thing.
Really?
What was the version?
Were on a number?
Yeah, it was like Photoshop 5 or something.
Right.
I'm trying to find the version now.
There's a lot of YouTube videos out there about like everything you ever need to do, you can still do with like the first version of Photoshop or the third version or something.
So
like
I'm trying to find the older version. So before CS,
Andrew, you'd like Pixelmator. It's really nice and easy to use and a beautiful UI.
I don't know.
I think I've used Photoshop since version 6.
So you know what? I used Photoshop 7. That was the last version of Photoshop that I used.
That was a good one.
So that was 2002. Yeah. That was the last version of Photoshop.
That was a good vintage.
That was a very good vintage. All right. Why don't we do our picks of the week? Do we have another story, or we could go into picks?
It's up to you.
We'll go into picks. Picks of the week, it's when John, myself, or Colm finds a product, a website, whatever the case is, and we present it to you as something that we like. So, John, do you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first. I don't know if you're able to bring up websites or not.
I could do something. I could rig it in a way.
You don't have to worry about it then.
Okay.
It's not that big of a deal. My pick of the week is a website called tvrage.com. If you're a person that watches a lot of TV like myself, this is a godsend because you can basically sign up for an account. It's free, and you can favorite and bookmark your favorite shows.
Oh,
so let's say you need to have a calendar or a schedule of what your favorite shows are so that you can keep track of what's on and when. Because these days, the way networks work, you just never know like what episode is on when a season is starting and when a season ends. And TV Rage makes this all easy for you. It's all user-generated content. So if you want to watch a show, not watch a show, but keep track of a show, this is a very good way to do it. You just favorite or bookmark a show, and it'll end up in your schedule. And one of the great things that I really like about TV Rage is that it has iCal support. So you can actually take the iCal feed and put it in your Google Calendar or Apple Calendar and see when your shows are upcoming, which is what I normally do to keep track of my shows, so I don't necessarily have to go back to the TV Rage website all the time. But if you do, it's very cool because even on their schedule, you can see TV schedules by country. So if you're in Australia or if you're in the United Kingdom or basically anywhere that they support, you can get a customized listing of shows. So I can bring up United Kingdom right now. So tonight at 5 o'clock, they have The Chase. At 6 o'clock, they have a show called Eggheads, which is really cool. You can do that for the U.S. as well. And it's really cool. You can submit your own content as well. So if you know like a new episode is coming up or if there's a change in an episode, you can submit the change and it'll be approved. It's kind of like Wikipedia in a way where it's all user-generated stuff. And it's absolutely 100% free, and I absolutely love the fact that I can do an iCalendar on this. That's tvrage.com.
Very, very cool. Josh, what's your pick of the week?
You know, I'm going to go with a PC game that I've fallen in love with a style of game that's getting pretty popular. It's a MOBA. Do either of you know what MOBA stands for?
No. No clue.
John?
No.
Multiplayer Online Battle Arena.
Wow.
So the game I've been
Geek.
playing... I keep hearing someone shouting things at me. Who was that?
It was Andrew.
The game is called Dota 2. It's made by the fabulous people at Valve who are behind Steam. So there's updates on the game like 2 or 3 times a day. What a MOBA is you're just put into one map, and you have a base in one corner, another base in another corner, and you're trying to take over the other team's base. And there's over 100 different characters you play as. It's 5-on-5, and you go through, and there's other creatures that are moving. It's a blast. Each match is from 20 to 30 minutes. And the reason why I bring this up, Andrew, is because GFQ has a new gaming channel that's in its beta right now. GFQ Gaming. So sometimes you can check it out. You can subscribe to that to see when we go live to stream content. And most of the content has been Dota. So if you're interested in seeing that, so yeah, check it out at GFQ Gaming on Twitch TV. Okay,
good pick. My pick this week, I actually came across this afternoon, and I was playing around with it a little bit, and it has a lot of potential. It's called Viber. And what Viber is, it's a free calling service. It's VoIP-based. You could do text messaging, you could do picture sharing, and you could do HD video to virtually anybody that has Viber. And the cool thing about it, it works off of your phone. So it's a little different than like a Skype or like any of the other, video products. So you have to have it running on both your phone and on your desktop, Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, Windows Phone. So it's available on all platforms. And it kind of searches your Facebook or your Twitter and your phone book, and it finds people with Viber. If they don't have Viber, you could still call people, and it blocks your number when you call. Have you been using it?
Yeah, it's the main app I use on my iPad to get it. I use it like to make conference calls and stuff.
So I'm gonna call my phone through. I thought you
were gonna call me on Viber.
No, I'm calling my office right now. This contact does not have a vibe. Please continue and regular calling. So it'll call them.
Yeah, right.
But it's interesting to me how it works, and allows you to make free phone calls to anybody that has Viber. You could do text messaging. I found people on Viber that I haven't spoken to in years, and I started a conversation with them, so it was pretty cool. Cool. The video service is a little buggy. I tried it on the Mac. I haven't tried it on Windows yet. And you could do video conferencing. I want to get Jess to use it so I could try it with her, but it seems to be, it's in its early days. It's a beta right now, but it's another alternative to, VoIP systems or Skype or any of the other video chat services. So
yeah, it works great with Google Voice too.
Does it? Okay.
Yeah,
I encourage you guys to check it out. It's viber.com. Check it out. Let me know what you think of it. I'm curious what you guys think of the service. You can send me an email at guysfromqueens@gmail.com, and I could talk about it on the air if it's good for the long term. That's it, guys. Josh, thank you for coming.
No, thank you guys. I love being here. Unfortunately, I was unable to make the T4 show, but Suncast stepped right up to the plate.
He did. It was a good show.
Yeah, but no, always happy to be here. I love this new time slot, so maybe I can come more.
Yes, by the way, guys, 3 p.m. East is our new time slot for Tech News Weekly. Josh will be sitting in, I guess, permanently now.
Oh, wow. Is this official? Is this
maybe we're official right now.
Oh, maybe we are.
That's too often, Andrew. I can't handle that.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry. Okay. You know what we'll do? 1 week on, 1 week off. I know.
Yeah, I can do that.
Suncast is a little selfish when it comes to me. He wants me all to himself. J Maverick Designs for any web work that you need. You're also an expert in digital presence. If you're a company, you're a musician, you're an actor, you're an internet broadcaster, and you're looking to have a new package, a new image on the internet with your digital presence, J Maverick Designs is a place to go. JMaverickDesigns.com.
Yeah, we figured it out now.
Yeah.
Like what you really need to do. We've looked at how it's done by some of the best, and we've come up with a plan now on how to tackle all the different areas, how to get your message out there. So yeah, contact me. Go to jmaverickdesign.com for more info.
Of course, you can follow Suncast on Twitter @Suncast. He's also all over the GFQ network. Suncast.com is a website. Anything else?
The GFQ network.
He is. He has become the GFQ network. I'm just a guy that shows up. John, anything I'm missing?
That's pretty much it. Like I said, you can follow me on Twitter @Suncast.
Yeah, you could also follow me on Twitter @AndrewZarian. Shoot me a message. I'll say hello to you. Also, that's about it. You can catch me everywhere on the GFQ network. If you miss any portion of the show, guys, and if you're watching live, do me a favor. I encourage you guys, please go to iTunes, go to Windows Phone, go to whatever you listen to on your phone or mobile device, and subscribe to us. It helps us out big time when you are subscribing to our show. It automatically downloads our show, our video, and our audio. And you're up to date, and it looks good for me because I'm able to go to an advertiser and say, look, Ron Knights is following me. John Boy is following me. Uber Geek is following me. Give me money.
John?
Enough with this. All right, guys. We'll see you all next week on Tech News Weekly. Good night, everybody.